I'm here with you. That's all that matters.
Riley Finn was a love Buffy thought could never betray her. Now, you need to see this. His darkest secret will come to light. Buffy. An all-new Buffy.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's edition of Slayade, the Buffyverse Revisited. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Jerome.
I am your other host, James, and welcome to Slade, the Buffyverse Revisited After Dark. Oh my goodness, Jeremy, we shouldn't have done those rails off that stripper's ass before we started recording.
I know, but listen, sometimes you got to do what you got to do to get through the day.
That's right. That is
So
correct.
this week we're going to be diving into Season 5, Episode 10, Into the Woods.
The drizzling shits. What? Huh?
What?
What? What? Yes, we are. But before we do that, Jeremy,
Yes.
how are you? In all the time that has elapsed between last we saw one another, how have you been?
Yeah. Well, if I'm being honest, I killed myself.
Wow. Okay. Well,
There's been so much time that's passed since last we spoketh that I was able to kill myself, spend my due time in purgatory.
uh-huh.
I had a brief tour of hell, then went to heaven, was like, no, this place is gay, and came back to Earth. So,
the fucker with these pearly ass gates. This shit gay, son. I'm outie.
gay.
This shit gay. I'm out.
So here I am to save the day on our podcast.
Podcast.
Yes.
So when you say it was gay, was it gay like?
It was like it was.
Hold on. No, hold on. Was it gay like you saw the pearly gates and you were like, "That's some gay shit. I'm out," or was it gay like you got through the pearly gates, you got into heaven, and fucking Jesus was just there, just like on some dude, and you're like, "Nah, I'm out.
Well, here's the thing. It wasn't just some dude. It was. Do you really want to know who it was?
Yeah. I don't think you have an answer prepared, and that's why you're stalling, though. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure you were 100% expecting me to ask if Jesus was performing the Gawk Gawk 3000 on some dude. So you didn't really have an answer ready.
It was George Washington.
It was. I knew it. I knew that wig. I knew that powdered wig wearing, wooden tooth having motherfucker was queer as shit.
Well, let me tell you something. His teeth weren't the only thing wooden.
Oh yeah.
Hey-o! Yes. How have you been?
We're terrible people, and we apologize.
No, we don't.
Yeah, we do. This is a safe space for everybody. We don't care.
Well,
we don't care if you're gay. We don't care if you wear powdered wigs.
Gay?
No. We don't care if you're gay. We don't care if you wear powdered wigs. We don't care if you have wooden teeth. This is a safe place. We're just rattling some chains.
We're fucking around. I mean,
my
co-host is a flaming homosexual. I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, yeah, come on. Fucking He-Man back there? Yeah, of course.
Of course. Okay.
Gay! He-Man and Battle Cat are fucking gay!
Gay.
Gay!
So
Every week before we record, I have to take down, because typically I've got, instead of He-Man and Battle Cat right there, I've got Skeletor doing He-Man doggy style.
the Gawk 1000
on the shelf, and every week Jeremy's like, could you please take that down?
Yeah, and he also has a giant, well, I wouldn't say giant, it's, I don't know, it's 10-12 inches high. It's just this huge, super realistic dick sculpture that's usually back there. And I'm just like, bro, I mean, it doesn't bother me, but maybe
he's like, every week he's like, dude, could you, like, that's really triggering my latent homosexuality. Could you please take it down? And I'm like, all right, dude.
There's nothing latent about my homosexuality.
It is perfectly latent.
It is perfectly. It's comfortably numb.
It's comfortably numb. So, with that in mind, how about if I
skip a bunch of shit again and don't finish it all, and I have to stop you to backtrack?
With that in mind, we open at the hospital.
Exactly.
Listen, I don't need this from you.
You don't
week after week after week after week.
James don't need no
education. I don't know. I was going to try and work like dildos and dates and deets into something, but I can't figure it out right now. But so
just grudge fuck us some dates and deets.
Grudge fuck. I'm going to angry fuck some dates and deets right into your face holes.
All right. That's what I'm talking about.
So as previously stated, this is the 10th episode of the 5th season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, our 88th episode overall of the series, Into the Woods. Written and directed by Marty Noxon. Our original broadcast date was December 19th, 2000 on the now defunct WB network. Our cast, as always, includes Sarah Michelle Gellar as Buffy, Nicholas Brendan as Xander, Allison Hannigan as Willow, Mark Blucas as Riley, Emma Caulfield as Anya, Michelle Trachtenberg as Dawn, James Marsters as Spike, Anthony Stewart Head as Giles. Why are you so fucking late with the sign? Our guest stars this week include...
Trigger you.
What?
I wanted to trigger you.
Our guest stars this week include Bailey Chase as Graham, Nick Chinland as Major Ellis, Christine Sutherland as Joyce, Randy Thompson as Dr. Kegel, and of course, James Mayberry as Mysterious Masturbating Man in the Corner.
Yep. Yeah, it's so because you're in all these episodes, but you don't. All you're doing is angrily masturbating in dark corners of various scenes. It's just random scenes. It's so fucking weird, man. It's like, where's fucking Waldo, except it's where's James Dick?
Right, where is James masturbating?
Yeah, it's like
yeah. I think what's really intriguing about it is that nobody is reacting to my character's angry masturbation.
No, they act like you're not there, and they know you're there.
Right, they know I'm there, but that's the subtlety. And again, this is the phenom that is the cast of both of these shows. Because as stated a few episodes ago, I did do some guest appearances on Angel as well as Mysterious Masturbating Man in the Corner. And what's so phenomenal about both these casts, as we've said before, is their acting is so on point that like there's subtle hints that indicate they know that there's a mysterious masturbating man in the corner, but they don't acknowledge it. So
the only time we as an audience know that it's like getting through to them is like, for instance, like if Sarah Michelle Gellar tears up, then in her glassy eyes, we can see your reflection in the corner, and it's so angry. It's whoo.
Yeah.
It's really off-putting.
Yeah, and then that scene granted we're not covering Angel this season, but in my first crossover event between the two shows, does the subtle look of disgust on David Boreanaz's face in the scene where, like, he clearly knows there's somebody angrily and mysteriously masturbating in the corner, but he doesn't. He
almost refused to do the episode because he's like, I only work with professionals, and this guy will not look away from me.
Right. But I was just following the script and the director's notes.
Yeah.
On what to do.
Lock eyes and don't look away.
Right. He said, you lock eyes with David Boreanaz while you are furiously and mysteriously masturbating
and
in the corner. Right. Well, yeah. And angrily. You know. So that's what I did. And listen, I'm method. So
when you're on set, you're not James anymore.
Right. No, I'm mysterious masturbating man in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
And part of being a method actor is I was really masturbating in those corners.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, your DNA is all over Hollywood.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Everywhere.
So I don't know. I don't know if anyone, obviously people that have watched the show already know where my storyline is going, but I'm eager for first time watchers to experience this for the first time.
For them to come along for the ride?
Yes, exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
I look forward to it.
I know you do. Anyway, our Nielsen rating for this episode is 3.2, ranking it 81 out of the 123 primetime shows airing across network television for the week, and a bump up to number 2 out of the 17 primetime shows airing on the WB for the week.
Fucking Gilmore.
It probably beat Gilmore Girls. It probably didn't beat Dawson's Creek.
Dawson's Crack. Hey, on the bright side, did you hear the real life Dawson has ass cancer?
Yes, I have heard that James Vanderbeek has ass cancer. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know why that's the bright side though.
Because no one likes Dawson's Creek and no one liked Dawson. So
what do you mean no one liked Dawson's Creek? It was literally one of the most popular shows on the WB.
Okay, there was a lot of douchebags that liked Dawson's Creek. But none of those douchebags even liked Dawson. So, on the bright side, maybe the real Dawson will die.
No. The views expressed by Jeremy aren't the views shared by the rest of Slade, the Buffyverse Revisited, and we wish James Vanderbeek the very best in his battle against ass cancer, or if Joyce's brain cancer is brain AIDS, then maybe James Vanderbeek's ass cancer is ass AIDS.
I rest my case, Your Honor.
Yes. James Vanderbeek has prostate AIDS.
Has prostates.
Prostates, yes. Oh my God, we're going to hell. We're so going to hell.
Bro, come on. You know me. You've known me a long time. I solidified my place there long ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So the way I look at it, I can only improve my standing in the hierarchy down there.
Mm-hmm,
Right.
mm-hmm.
So I
Sure,
figure
sure.
the more fucked up and deranged I am, the more I move up the ladder.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Okay. My synopsis this week reads, Buffy is thunderstruck when Spike apprises her of Riley's furtive nights spent in the dark embrace of a vampire.
Who the fuck wrote that?
How the fuck should I know?
Somebody was like wanting to fucking sound all smart and fucking wordy. Mine just simply reads, who cares? No. It reads, after Buffy catches Riley in the clutches of a vampire junkie, I shit you not, it says that, he makes an important decision regarding their relationship. He wants it to be open, and he wants someone to join them in the bedroom. Spoilers.
Wow.
And it needs to be a vampire junkie.
It needs to be a vampire junkie. We open at Sunnydale Memorial, and the gang is awaiting news from Dr. Keagles about Mama Summers and the outcome of her surgery. And like they're all sitting around, you know, quietly. They're not really saying a whole lot, and what they are saying to each other is kind of wrought with tension. Like, the exchange between Willow and Xander is borderline like I would probably have slapped Xander if I was Willow.
Well, I mean, he's tired of her shit. All right, like he's tired of her holier than thou bullshit, and he's like, "Listen, Willow, I know we're best friends and we've grown up together, but I swear to God, if you say some shit like that to me again, I'm going to bring down the thunder on you."
All she did was ask him what time it was. And dude was literally like, he was so angry. He was like, there's a fucking clock right behind you, you dumb fucking witch.
Yeah, yeah. And then she's like, "Yeah, but you have one on your wrist." And he's like, fuck. And she's like, and then she turns around and looks at the clock behind her at that point. That's when I'm punching her. In a nipple. Like, I'm punching her in one of the nipples.
But I mean, like, we're obviously we're doing our usual like joke exaggeration, but at the same time, it was like Willow asked. We're kind of not. Yeah, Willow's like asked Xander what time it was, and he's like, "There's a clock right behind you." I was like, dude, just fucking tell her what time it is, you prick.
Well, they're both kind of being annoying, though. I mean, he's being a prick, yes, but she's also being annoying.
Yeah. So then we cut to Dr. Keagles walking up to the group, and
Gritting
we
his
zoom in. Huh? Yeah. Clenching.
So listen, that's your mom.
Right. So as he's walking up, we zoom in on Buffy, and
his crotch.
We zoom in on his crotch. No, we zoom in on Buffy, and that is our cold open.
And when we come back, he says, "Buffy, I'm sorry. She didn't make it." And Buffy's like, "Well, if I'm being honest, I kind of wanted the house anyway." And he's like, "Well, I got some bad news for you. She signed a will in the operating room, leaving me everything."
No, he's like, "Well,
get the fuck out."
Right, he's like, "Well,
down, bitch."
No, he's like, "Well, I'm sorry, but while the house is yours now, in about 1.5 to 2 years, your friends are going to make you move out of your own house that they are living in
for free."
For free, yeah.
Yeah. And but you will have to return and save all of their lives, and never be
properly thanked. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So, and by the way, your best friend is Spike. So yeah, we come back and he's like, "Hey, all's well. She's fine. Everything's gonna be fine. We're fine. I'm fine. You fine?" And Buffy's like, "I'm fine." And he's like, "Okay." And they all interlock arms and they skip away. They're like, doo-doo, 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 doo-doo. I don't know what that song is, but yeah, so it's a success. And he's like, "Well, we got it all." And I'm like, "Did you? I don't know, because I've seen a couple episodes. No, I'm just saying. So then we cut to Xander's place, and he's completely naked. I don't know why. I mean, it is his house, but it's like, dude, what the fuck? Put some clothes on. You're on TV.
Put some fucking clothes on, dude. Come on. No one wants to see that shit.
You're on TV. Come on. What the hell? No, Xander and Anya are entertaining Dawn. And she's like, "Yeah, that's because that's so Riley and Buffy can be home alone and fuck." Well, she says, what did she say? Boink or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like, "What? What?" And Anya's like, "Yeah, pretty much." And Xander's like, "Yeah, pretty much." And so then we cut to the Summers home, and they are indeed.
Well, I do want to mention, so like you said, Xander's like trying to play it off, and Anya's like no, he's not very convincing. And Dawn's like, "Alone time always translates into get Dawn out of the house so we can have loud, obnoxious sex." And then Anya turns to Xander and she's like, "Oh, does that mean we can't?"
Yeah. 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 And Dawn's like, "No, it's fine. I like to listen." And,
wow. That is a child.
Is it though? Is it though? It's not even a real thing.
No, she is a child.
Not a real thing. So shit word. Oh yeah. So we cut to Buffy and Riley, and they're slow dancing. It's all candlelight everywhere, and they're slow dancing to some generic slow dance music. And of course he's putting the fucking the Riley rye on her, and saying all the great things and perfect stuff, and "I just wanted this night to be perfect for you." And then some Barry White comes on and whatever, and then they're actually fucking. And I was like, "Is this?" I couldn't tell. Like, was that Mom's bed they were in?
No, I'm sure it was Buffy's.
Okay.
I think it's important to point out here too that in this scene, Buffy tells Riley about how, like, he's commending her for like how strong she was during this whole ordeal and everything. And Buffy's like, "Oh," she's like, "I really wasn't. I cried, and I cried a lot." And Riley's all fucking butthurt because he's upset that she didn't cry in front of him or whatever. And then then they fuck.
Yeah, I don't know why any of that was important, but
it's important to what do you mean? It's important to the whole.
No, it's not. It's only important to you because you want to make an overall point at the end of the episode that Riley's a douche canoe and it's his own fault in the relationship and blah, 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 blah. So fuck you. You're not fooling me. And
it's not important to you because you want to make a point that Riley is in the right here and he was always being shit on by Buffy and Buffy's in the wrong.
Nah, I kind of decided when I watched the episode, I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm not gonna argue Riley's point. I'm not gonna argue her point. I'm not gonna argue Riley's point. The fact of the matter is,
well, now this episode's not gonna be nearly as fun as I thought it was.
Well, I've known all along it was gonna be stupid, but it's gonna be entertaining. Damn it. I'm not going to argue either point because I feel like I kind of took a step back and I was like, you know what? In the grand scheme of things, I always hated this relationship anyway. And who cares? You know, like in the end of the day, I was like, okay, I see what James is saying, but I also still see my point. And I think they were both wrong. I think they're both stupid. And I think they're both right. So it's like, I can't really argue. I'm not going to pick a side. It's like one of those arguments where, let's say, two of your friends are arguing and you see both sides of it. And you're like, I don't fucking bring me into this. I don't want to be in the middle of it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where, after the episode ended, I was like, yeah, I think they're both in the right. And I think they're both fucking dumb shits. So, you know, I'm not going to take up either's cause. So fuck you. So yeah, they are fucking. I swear I thought they were in Joyce's bed, and I was like, dick move, man. She's recovering from having her brain drilled into, and you're fucking in her bed. But so then they're having their post-coital sleeping, cuddling, right? And suddenly we cut outside, and who's there but Spike? Just being creepy Spike, hanging by the same tree, smoking cigarette after cigarette. And then we cut back inside, and we see Riley ninja up out of the bed and quietly put his clothes on. Although, did you notice he put her underwear on by accident? He was like, oh God, I'm going to wear these anyway. And so he leaves the house, and Spike is like, oh, what's going on here? So he decides that he's going to follow Mr. Finn. And where does he follow him to, James? Where do they end up at the end of the day?
They end up in the decrepit crack den that we saw Riley in the previous episode, and he is once again being sucked off, not in the traditional sense, but by he's letting this female junkie vampire feed on him. Mm-hmm. And Spike sees the whole thing. And then we cut
pictures again with his weird little disposable camera.
Right. See, I still like that it's a Polaroid. I like the idea that it's a Polaroid. It's like, you know why I like the idea that it's a Polaroid? Because I like the whole.
Well, the reason I like the idea that it's one of those little shitty disposable cameras is because it's like you'd go crank and it was like covered in cardboard on the outside. And
I think part of the reason I like the idea of the Polaroid cameras because the sounds remind me of the opening of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Well, and let's be honest, Polaroid cameras were one of the greatest inventions of all time.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It should still be the mainstay of photography. Like these fucking smartphones should have Polaroid ejections at the bottom when you take your picture.
Right. So we cut to the next day, and Buffy is with Mama Summers at the hospital, and they are talking about Joyce's. Oh my God! Wow.
I apologize even for that. No, I don't. No, I don't.
They are talking about Mama Summers' wig options, and
this to me because she has all of her hair.
I know. I don't get it. I don't get it either.
There's just this tiny little. Sorry.
Yeah.
There's just this tiny little, maybe quarter-sized area on the side of her head where there's no hair, and I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You know.
And they're also talking about Buffy's relationship with Riley. And
wait.
Sure.
So she says, how does she say that? She goes, well, honey, go ahead and leave and go have Riley take you to a movie or something. And Buffy's like, no, this is Mom Day, and I told him to go make plans with his friends. And first of all, when has it ever showed Riley had any friends other than the Scoobies?
Thank you. I said the same thing. I was like, she gave him the day off to hang with his friends. What fucking friends does he have?
The only friends he ever had were his initiative buddies, who were either now dead or like Graham, who's now wherever.
Right.
And then the Scoobies.
Like, because like a few episodes ago, he was playing basketball with those guys, but it was like a fucking pickup game. They weren't people that he knew.
Yeah.
He literally showed up at the basketball courts and was like, hey, you need a third? He's
like, hey, this is Riley. Remember me from the pickup game at the park?
Right.
Hello?
Hello? And then, of course, they hung up on him because he beat their...
What do you mean, how did I get your number? I just looked you up on the phone book. Oh, you've never heard of a phone book? Google it, kids. Wait, I'm not done with that scene. So first there's that where she says, oh, he's going to go hang with his friends. And I'm like, what fucking friends has he ever had? And then, this was just icky. It was funny, but it was icky. She says, Buffy goes, besides, later, he'll come by later and be looking for a little bit of, and cuts herself off and says, Bible study. And
yeah.
Mom says, oh, I'm glad you guys are, close to the Lord. In other words, like, she's like, yeah, so Riley will come over later for a little bit of tail. And Mom's like, oh, and she goes, I'm glad you guys are close to the Lord. She goes, as long as you guys are, your relationship is close and healthy. And I was like, so basically Mom's like, get that D, honey. I don't know. It was like, this is just weird. And, but yeah, so that's my take on that scene.
Yeah. It was kind of funny, but also a little like,
yeah. Threw up in my mouth a little bit.
So then we cut to Riley arriving at his ex Domino's apartment, and he turns on the light, and Graham and Major Ellis are standing in the dark behind him.
Did you see what else was in the dark behind them?
Yes, of course I did. I filmed the scene. Exactly.
There you were, buddy, angry as shit, just being like, oh, motherfucker, God damn it. I was like, whoa, he really is method.
He is so angry. I believe he may masturbate his penis right off.
He's speaking in tongues. He's so fucking mad.
As we learned in the Dates and Deets, Miss Marty Noxon wrote and directed this episode. And when I showed up for filming that day, she was like, listen, obviously the script side say you angrily masturbate in the corner. And I was like, well, yeah. And she's like, when I say angry, I mean like you are possessed, speaking in ancient Latin, just and just mad. I was like, all right.
And so you took it upon yourself. This is what you told me, at least. You took it upon yourself. You actually brought a small, like a paring knife with you. And as you were sitting there just being like, motherfucker, you were like just cutting like on yourself. And you're just like, blood's coming down and shit. And
right.
You're just, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah. And again, the kudos to Mark Blucas and the rest of the cast of filming that day. You wouldn't have even, if you couldn't see me in the background of that scene, you wouldn't have known I was there from the way they carried on throughout the scene.
Yeah, and let's also give kudos to Marty Noxon and the filming crew for letting you do. I mean, that's clearly a violation of several laws.
Right.
They were okay with it, and
they were okay with it.
Like,
I did have to sign numerous waivers.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Marty Noxon, she went to Joss Whedon, who's the showrunner, and she's like, "Listen, this is my art, okay?
Right.
Don't try to squelch my art.
Right.
This is what I need to make this episode work." He was like, "Okay, I'll go to bat with you with the network."
Right.
And she's like, "I need this, and it needs to be full frontal." And
yeah,
he was like, "Okay, first time."
And listen,
on TV, we're gonna do
as much as you and I, and even me being in it, as much as we agree that this episode is the drizzling shits, I think we can also both agree that without my scene, the episode would be completely useless.
It was, you should have, that performance alone should have garnered some type of Emmy nomination, if not a win. But
yeah,
since
I was robbed.
Since the media, especially back then, was so fucking stuck up their own asses,
right?
And the Academy, or not the Academy, but the Emmy people, they just couldn't. They just couldn't. It was sick. It was
right.
It was a miscarriage of justice.
Yeah, we should also mention, because a lot of people might be a little confused right now, because my scenes did get cut from broadcast versions,
right?
But anybody that has the DVDs will know that the DVDs contain the Euro minutes,
right?
And that's where you can see the extended scenes of
because in
Europe
and other broad-minded countries, there was no problems with your scenes, and they were fine with broadcasting them. It's art.
They understood the need for those scenes. Yeah.
Right. But here in America, it's, we're all, the Christian right and all the fucking, the pussies in the world. They had, so
yeah.
Sick.
So obviously if you're streaming it on Hulu or Hulu through Disney Plus, you're still not going to get those scenes, because they're based on scans of the broadcast versions. What you need to do is you need to go out and buy the DVD sets, and
not the Blu-ray either. You have to get the original release of the original run of each season DVDs to get.
And they're not, and don't worry, they're not like extra deleted scenes or anything you have to go into the special menu for. They've been re-added to the cut of the episode, so they're just in there.
Right.
So you don't have to go searching for them. You'll see them if you watch the episodes on the original.
You get to see a real actor, actually doing his craft.
Yeah. Yeah. And like Jeremy, I didn't hold back.
Like I said back then, I'll say it again, James. Kudos.
Thank you, sir. It's a shame that my scenes were cut for the American broadcast, and my talent wasn't recognized, and my career wasn't allowed to flourish the way it should have.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what? At the end of the day, they're fucking lost. Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them. Fuck Hollywood.
Yep.
So then, Riley's at his apartment, and Graham and Major Ellis and of course he knows they're there, like, before he even fucking turns on the lights, because he's, Captain fucking America or whatever the fuck.
He could smell their cunts when he came in.
He could smell their dirty, hairy vaginas.
Well, it's, I was thinking it was like that scene from Silence of the Lambs, when he's like, "What did he say to you, Agent Starling?" He said he could smell my cunt. Yeah. So he could smell their cunts when he went in.
Yeah.
That's his one. That's the last, like, I don't know.
Superpower he still has from the initiative. Yeah. So they offer him a position with the Army's new anti-demon military unit, and they're like, "Oh, we're nothing like the initiative. We're only out there to kill the demons, not study them." And they tell him that there's a demon, there's a pack of demons destroying, what is it, refugee camps or missionary camps or something in Belize.
Missionary. It's such a stupid story, like, cover, whatever. Yeah. Get out missionaries in Belize. We got to go over there and do something about it, Agent Riley Finn.
Right. And so they tell him that they're shipping out the next day at midnight. And then we cut to Buffy's bedroom, and she stirs awake, and she's like, "Riley?" And it's not Riley. It's fucking Spike being a fucking creep.
Yeah.
He's like, "There's something I need to show you. You need to come with me." And she's like covered with a sheet, and then he's like, "Are you naked under there?" And like she pulls the sheet up around her a little bit more, and she's like, "Get out." And he's like, "You really need to come with me. There's something you need to see, and we've got to go right now if we want to get there in time." And she kind of like gives him a look like, "Fucking get out. I need to change." And he's like, "Oh, please, like, I give a damn." And he turns around, and as soon as he turns around, like, he makes this like just weird like orgasmic face at just the thought that Buffy is naked underneath that sheet.
Well, he makes that a noise too. He's like,
yeah, like he just ejaculated.
Yeah, he did in his pants, and he's just you're like, right. Whoa, bro! Is this like? Have you never been in a room with a naked female before? Like, what the fuck?
Right.
It was weird.
So then we cut to them being Buffy and Spike outside this vampire crack den thing, and they walk in, and this vampire confronts Spike, and Spike tosses him to the side while Buffy's making her way upstairs and then through the hallways, and they get to a door, and Spike like motions his head towards the door, and Buffy opens the door, and we see that she now spies Riley getting fed on by this vampire, and he tells the vampire to suck harder, and
he does.
And Buffy lets out a gasp, and he looks up and finally sees her, and we cut to a commercial.
He goes, "No, don't you look away."
Right.
Look in the eyes.
He's like, "You look at me, Buffy. You look me in the eyes right now."
I'm so close.
Yeah. He's like, "I'm so close, Buffy. Look at me. Look at me." And then he does the exact same weird noise and orgasm face that Spike did.
Yep.
Like the exact same.
Yep.
Yeah. He's just like.
That's when we discover that they're related.
Yes.
Riley, Finn, and Spike Finn.
Spike Finn, yeah. Yeah. What wasn't revealed in the flashbacks from a couple episodes ago is that Spike's real name was William Finn. And he is. Yeah. That's right. And before he became a vampire, he had several bastard children. And and Riley is his like great grandson.
Yeah. Bill,
Illegitimate great
Riley
grandson.
Finn and Uncle Bill Finn.
Uncle Willie Finn.
Willie Finn for himself.
Willie Finn. And then we find Riley is like, you know, I grew up hearing stories of my great uncle Willie, you know, passed down through the family, and
Like,
now I've met you.
He's like, well, you heard him wrong. He's like, it was actually about your great uncle's Willie.
Right. You know, and Spike's like, well, Riley, you heard the stories wrong. I wasn't your great uncle Willie. I'm your father. I'm your great grandfather.
Wow.
And Riley's like, what? And
He's
Spike's like,
and Spike finally holds out his hand to him and he says, Spike Finn, nice to meet you.
right. It's like William. No, he's like William Finn. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hostile 13 Finn.
17.
17 Finn.
But you can call him Spike.
From now on, Spike is going to be Spike Finn.
Spike Finn. So yeah, Buffy lets out a gasp, and Riley looks up at her, finally seeing her, and we cut to a commercial break. Close up of Buffy sharing in sheer horror and disgust. And when we come back, we are on the same scene, and the vampire is continuing to feed on Riley, and Riley says Buffy's name and then orgasms again, and then Buffy turns and runs away, and Riley calls after her, and Spike looks at Riley and he's like, we only came here because we care about you, friend.
Yeah.
And you need help. And then he smirks and runs out, and we cut to Buffy like hurrying down the stairs, and a vamp confronts her, and she tosses him aside, and then
Literally.
yeah, and then Spike comes down the stairs, and we cut outside this place, and Spike kind of runs past Buffy because she's stopped, like, you know, dead in her tracks processing, and Spike's like, I thought you should know, and she like looks up at him, and you know, just like, it's almost pure hatred on her face, and like Spike is clearly taken aback by the look on her face. Mm-hmm. And she runs away, and this is the scene I was talking about a couple episodes ago, where Marsters doesn't say anything in this scene outside of I thought you should know, but he literally goes from like this like self-satisfied look at what he's done, and then as he's realizing that Buffy is hurt and he caused that hurt, his face just sinks into like this regret and disappointment that he did what he did. Mm-hmm. You know, but
it doesn't help his case that the very next thing he does is goes and he gasms again in his pants.
Right. And then we cut back to Riley, who's now making his way out of the warehouse, and him and a vampire get into a little squabble, and Riley punches the vampire in the face, and the vampire goes down, and Riley runs out of the warehouse, and we cut to the Summers house, and what's going on there, Jeremy?
There's a fire. Are you sure we're at the Summers house?
Yeah.
Hang on just a second.
It's, you know what, we can skip it. It's just a very brief scene. Buffy walks into her room and closes the door and then leans against it, and she's looking all like shocked and disgusted and horrified. Actually, let's just go ahead and do
Magic box.
We're at the magic box now. Yeah.
She storms in and demands that everyone get on the floor and put their hands behind their head.
She's like, interlace your fingers behind your heads, you sons of bitches.
She's gonna just rob them because she's just done. She's like, I want all your fucking wallets, your valuables, and your jewelry now.
Right. And Giles, being Giles, is like everyone else is immediate. They're like, holy fuck, Buffy's gone crazy, and they're like down on the ground.
Yeah.
And Giles, like, he walks up to her and he's like, you know, he's trying to be calm. He's like, Buffy, you know, let's talk about what's happened. What's the matter? And she punches a hole straight through his fucking sternum.
Yep.
And Giles is dead. And what did we say, Jeremy? What did we say at the beginning of the season? If Giles ever leaves the show, the podcast is done.
That's true.
So
but
it's been fun. It's been fun, folks. Bye.
But listen, if we're being fair, he didn't leave the show. He was removed.
That's true. You're right. Okay, I'm back.
Okay, got him back, guys. All I had to use was semantics, and I got him back.
That's all you had to do.
No, so she comes in and she's just demanding to know information about a vampire den downtown. And I like how she's just like, I want to know everything there is to know about this vampire nest downtown. And like, I just wanted somebody like, well, Xander would be the good choice to be like, we're going to need you to narrow that down a little bit more.
Right.
Vampire nest downtown. I don't know. That narrows it down to a couple thousand probably. But she's like, they're paying vampires to bite them. And then Anya's like, well, yeah, that's been going on for, millennia.
Right. And even Giles is confirmed. He's like, yeah, like vampire dens are like a known thing.
Yeah. He's like, what were you born? Are you just, what the fuck?
Right.
Are you a kid?
And then like this irritated me a little bit. Like I get what he's saying, but at the same time I was kind of like, what? Giles is like, he's like, I didn't know this shit was going down in Sunnydale. And then he's like, even if I did, I don't know that I would have told you because these are willing victims. And I was like, dude, what?
I don't know. I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of with him on that because it's like, okay, they're on the Hellmouth, so there's never a lack of shit to do in town as far as slaying goes. And He's kind of like, listen, priorities. Like these dens would be like at the very bottom of the priority list.
Right. And that's like I said, like on one hand, I get what he's saying, but on the other hand, it's kind of like, dude, come on. Like these are still people, like this is still something that should be dealt with on some level.
I don't know. So. I'd be like, fuck them. If I was a player, I think I would. I'd be like, you know what? They're just like junkies, like drug junkies. It's the only, it's like, fuck them. Like, number one, it's not my business. I'm not going to roll up in there and tell somebody how to live their fucking life. Damn, you suck that fucking water, dude. You suck it hard. Sorry. I just had to... I just
Jeremy Finn?
I just did Jeremy Finn. I just completed. So they're kind of all like, and I think they're not entirely wrong, but everybody's kind of like, this seems kind of dumb, Buffy, but she is just fucking just has a rage boner about this whole thing. So they're like, okay, we'll go down and throw a fucking dart, and we'll probably hit something that's a fucking den downtown. So, well, and they also, well, let's not forget though. I don't know if it's Giles. Somebody brings up the point that, oh, it's Xander. He brings up the point that, well, he says something along the lines of, well, I think the much more important situation here would be Glory, who had.
You're right the first time. It's Giles that says that. It's part of his like willing victim speech.
Okay.
He's like also there's more important things like Glory.
Yeah, he's like, the evil that's older than the written word who has wrecked you more than once.
Right. But I mean, in defense of Buffy not caring about Glory, like the last 2 episodes didn't care about Glory, so why should this one?
Fair enough. But of course, Buffy being Buffy refuses to fucking back down, and she is, by God, gonna handle this place. So Xander makes the awesome suggestion that maybe they should wait for Riley. Yeah, bad idea. So obviously they do not. They go, and they get there, and it's fucking empty. Not a soul or undead. Nothing is there. No one. And she's like, I don't get it. And I'm like, really? You don't get it, Buffy? Everybody in that place knew that you were the Slayer as soon as you threw that fucking vampire 86 feet through the fucking air. Like, they all fucked off. They're not stupid. And so what does she do? She starts a fucking fire and burns that motherfucker to the ground. A perfectly good house, mind you, that could have been rehabbed and given to someone of need in Sunnydale. Habitat for Humanity would have been happy to have that home to come in and remodel and give to someone deserving in the community. No, Buffy burns it down because Buffy's having a hissy fit.
Buffy's having a hissy fit.
Giles suggests that she's being rather cuntish. And so what does she do? She fucking back wheel kicks his head off of his shoulders. So once again, Giles is dead in 1 episode. It's fucking bullshit. That's all I'm saying. No, he says, they're laying low, so. But when she does the kick, or when she starts the fire and shit, everybody's like, okay, something's really fucking up. Like, something's really crawled up her ass.
Right.
Then where do we, shit. Hang on. Okay. Okay. Then we cut to, wait, why does that feel out of order? We cut to Spike's crypt next, right?
Yes. Yeah, Spike's crypt is next.
That feels out of order, but anyway, Spike is sitting in his crypt that he refuses to leave, that everyone knows where it's at, and he's guzzling some cheap fucking bourbon, and Riley drop kicks the door open and comes right in, and he's been expecting him because he's like, yo, what kept you? So he manhandles Spike for a while and then pulls out a stake and fucking stakes Spike. Legit, no bullshit.
Yep.
And Spike is like, oh, and then he's like, hey. And Riley pulls the stake out and he's like, plastic wood grain. Looks pretty real, doesn't it? And Spike is like, fuck. I'm like, yeah. Maybe that should show you, maybe you should be a little more careful. Now, Spike, just say. So then they bond basically over the fact that They do. Like he
Yeah.
sits down in the chair and he's holding his staked chest, and he guzzles some more bourbon and then tosses the bottle to Riley, who sits down and starts drinking as well. And they're bonding over the fact that I'm not really sure, honestly, that
over the fact. So they're bonding over the fact that Riley. They're bonding over the fact that Spike knows he will never have Buffy, and Riley feels like he doesn't have Buffy,
and has lost Buffy or whatever.
Never had Buffy,
Yeah.
which is such. Oh God, it's such bullshit. But whatever.
But whatever. So yeah, they bond over that and they drink, and it's just like, okay, all right. Oh, and then, but Riley does say to him, at one point, like, well, you don't have a fucking prayer in hell. And he's like, well, bloke's got to do what he can. Right. And I'm like, well, so are you going to become a serial rapist or? and the answer to that is yes. So then we cut to the box of magic, and we see Buffy is in the training area, beating the shit out of a punching bag. And I just wanted to say, I don't like when they show Sarah Michelle Gellar herself doing like punching or kicking or whatever, because it's not good. It's not good at all. Like, it's really bad. But she's beating the hell out of a punching bag. And Riley shows up, and he's like, is she in the back there? And they're like, oh, yeah, she's been back there quite a while. And then he said something that really, he's like, can you guys all clear out?
Right.
Like, first of all, I'm like, how about no? Fuck you. We were here first. And, also, Giles owns the place.
Right, right.
Second of all, why would we need to clear out? That's a whole separate space back there with walls and a door. And third of all, fuck you. We don't like you. Like, it just seems so pretentious and like, I don't know. But they agree. They're like, yeah, no problem. Rye. We'll fuck right off. And they do. And, oh my Lord, it's just such I hate this scene. Okay. He goes back there, and they basically, to make a long, rambling blah blah short, they basically argue over who is the better and or worse life partner. In a nutshell, And as I've said, I agree with Buffy, I agree with Riley, and I also think both of them are shitheads. So the sooner this could be over, the better for me.
And as I've said, I think Riley is... I fucking hate this scene. This scene is so...
He does manhandle her a couple of times in this scene where I'm like, okay, that could have been not a thing at all.
Yeah, I hate this scene so much. Especially coming from Marty Noxon.
Yeah.
For one, like one of the best. I mean, it's very rare that a writer's name on a show. So the fact that fans know her name, like she's like Jillian Horvath or Donna Leto, for Highlander, that she was one of the best writers on the show. And on top of that, her being a woman, to write this scene where they basically blame Buffy for literally everything that's fucking wrong in this relationship. And, Riley rants about how she allowed Dracula to bite her and he just wanted to feel what she felt, and you know, the reason he was doing what he was doing was Buffy's fault because those vampires needed him and she doesn't, and it's just fucking utter bullshit. Just fucking utter bullshit. And then on top of it, he gives her a fucking ultimatum. Like, what the oh my god. He tells her that the government wants him back, and unless she gives him a reason to stay, he's gonna leave. At which point he exits the magic box.
Are you done?
I'll take the next scene too, because the next scene is total bullshit.
Okay.
Like she leaves the magic box, and she gets confronted by the vampires from the vampire crack den, and she stakes them all. And I did think it was pretty like
she wrecked them.
Yeah, she wrecks them. And then the last vampire standing is Riley's vampire whore, and Buffy's got this big, like, plank, like a piece of pallet, and that's, of course, broken off into a really long stake, and they make eye contact, and Buffy, like, lowers her guard, and the female vampire takes off, and Buffy, like, watches after her, and then after a few seconds of contemplation, Buffy, like, hauls off and javelins the plank at her and fucking stakes her from, like, 50 feet away.
Yeah.
At which point, Xander shows up, having stayed behind when he and Anya left, and instead of comforting Buffy, he confronts her about how he thinks she's running away and hiding from her problems. And then, fuck, God, I hate this so much. He fucking proceeds to also blame Buffy for everything that Riley's done. And is like, ever since Angel left and you got with Riley, you've been treating him like he's the rebound guy, and like he's just convenient, and that's not the case. He's the once in a lifetime guy, and you know, you better make a decision or you're gonna lose him for good. You know, after Buffy tells him about how Riley's been sneaking off to get his jollies with fucking vampire whores, and gave her a fucking...
Xander's like, so I'd do that too.
And gives her, you know, and Xander basically gives her the same ultimatum Riley did. Was like, well, you better go, you know, give him a reason to fucking stay here. At which point she fucking takes off and to try and stop Riley from leaving. And we cut to Riley, like, panning the horizon for Buffy to show up, and he checks his watch and it's midnight and she hasn't shown up, so he gets on the helicopter, and as the helicopter's taking off, she shows up yelling his name, and of course this is stupid, not that I wanted him to, but he doesn't once look back over his shoulder after the helicopter is lifted off, which, what the fuck, like, what so yeah, he doesn't see that she's shown up and she's calling for him, and we cut to Xander at Anya's place, and Xander tells Anya how much he loves her, and then we cut to Buffy going back home, and that's the end of this fucking drizzle shit of an episode.
Okay. I don't really know
Jeremy,
yeah.
would you like to play everyone's favorite game, body count.
Okay. God, because I don't know how many were in the alley. 8.
7. You were close. Music this week. Emelina Torina with Summer Breeze. Thomas Wanker with with Riley's departure, and of course our original score, as always. Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
Would you please tell me how many vampire whores you give this episode?
Vampire whores. Well, this is going to piss you off, but this is a 4, bro.
Dude, fuck you.
It's a 1 because remember what I said. I won't give it a 1 unless it's completely irrelevant and serves no purpose and could be not in the fucking timeline and make no difference. So it's a 1. It's useless. Well, actually, you know what? I can't give it a 1. I can't. It has to be a 2 because Riley leaving is an important thing to the overall movement of the show. So I can't go against it's okay. It's a 2 only because Riley fucks off in this episode. And that's a thing that affects the rest of the show. So, but if it wasn't for that, it would be a 1. It's just a bunch of he said, she said. Again, I agree and disagree with both of them. I think their relationship has been a trauma relationship from day one. And I think they have both made stupid fucking mistakes. I think they have both mistreated each other. I think they have both taken the other for granted. And on and on and on. But at the end of the day, I'm just fucking happy it's over because I never liked this relationship. I never cared for Bupkis. So all I can say is, yay, it's a fucking 2. James.
Yes, sir.
I don't think any of us have a clue where you're going to go here. So let's just see. We need to see where you're going with this one.
Yeah.
Tell us your final thoughts, and on a scale of 1 to 5, Riley Bupkisses, where do you rank it?
Well, I am going to surprise you because I'm going off scale
to a 0.
And this episode is a fucking 0.
Okay. All right.
No, it in my opinion, it is an off scale 0, but I am going to give it a 1 because Riley fucking leaves.
Yeah. And that is a momentous thing in the show.
Right. So it is a 1 episode solely for the fact that Riley is finally gone. And he's a character that we never cared for anyway. Yeah, I mean, I think I said everything I need to say. Like this episode is just pure bullshit. You and I, like, I clearly have a hardline disagree stance with you on the whole he said, she said thing. I don't like the whole Buffy doesn't love me and this and that. I don't buy that. I don't think there's ever been any evidence to suggest that. The whole, like, it boils down to Riley's fragile masculinity was broken because Buffy wouldn't cry on his fucking shoulder, and she doesn't need me. Oh, I'm gonna go let vampires suck on me for a while. Boo-hoo, you fucking piece of, oh my god. And the writers just like backing that up through Xander's little misogynistic speech at the end there. Fuck Xander too. No. Fuck this episode. Fuck it.
James is like, I'm
Right
not
up,
watching any more episodes.
let's fuck this episode right up the ass with a big rubber dick and then break it off and beat it to death with the rest of it.
Or insert that ridiculous dragon dong
Yes.
and destroy your anus forever.
Right up to the base and just skewer the insides of this episode.
Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Like I know you're not the only person that's going to disagree with me about this episode, but it is what it is.
I don't massively disagree with you. It's like I'm right down the middle, so I only half disagree with you.
I know. You're playing both sides of the fence.
Right. I'm riding right down the middle of that fence, dude. I'm fucking grinding that fucker right down the middle.
You wish it was a dragon dong. You're riding it so hard.
Yeah. No, I can see where you're coming from. I just think you're wrong. So no, you're not wrong. Again, it is what it is. Hey, here's the good thing. This episode is over and Riley is now gone.
And Riley is now gone. Yes.
So
I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am 6 episodes ahead of this right now, watching. And I can say that for the most part, after this episode, we do start to get an uptick in quality of the episodes.
Okay.
So I don't know I don't know your opinion on that, but
I haven't watched yet. I've only watched Triangle.
Okay.
From after here.
But without giving too many spoilers and without giving your rating away, like, would you agree that that's a markedly better episode than what we've been treated to recently?
Without question, yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I do feel like after this episode, we start to see an uptick in the quality for the rest of the season.
Well, and that's mainly due to the fact that we also see a lot more full frontal male nudity.
And just penis makes everything so much better.
Exactly. Even if you're not gay, who doesn't want some fucking dicks flopping around? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Everyone, I mean, come on.
It's like, listen, I ain't gay. I just want you to lay on top of me out of respect.
Right. Maybe gyrate a little bit.
Okay, boy.
And maybe if I roll over and your penis happens to like fall into the cradle of my butt crack, that's fine.
Yeah. I mean, just let's just go with it. Let's just be bros. That's all I'm saying.
Right. That's right. That's what bros do. Come on. It's fine. It's not gay. It's just bros being bros.
It ain't gay unless you gotta go making it gay, bruh.
Right. It's only gay if you make it gay, dude. Otherwise, we're just bros doing bro things. Listen, man.
Shit. I'll bet you this is the most canceled episode that we have ever done. Like, Spotify is going to cancel this episode, probably.
Spotify is gonna send us an email and be like, "We're afraid to inform you that we can no longer allow you to host your podcast on this platform."
And we are so deeply troubled and offended by the things you have said and done in this episode, we have contacted Homeland Security.
We've not contacted Homeland Security.
We are going to have you deported to El Salvador.
Yeah. Well, who's the head? Kristi Noem, right? That's who he put in charge of Homeland Security. Yeah.
Yes, the one that doesn't have a nose.
Yeah,
that's her. Whore. So, What?
Hey, Jeremy.
Yeah.
What happens if you were to type into the old web box up there at the top of your browser, BuffyRevisited.com?
404 file not found.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind then.
No, you would go to our little drop page there. It really just sends you to the Spotify main page for the thing, but it's got your links, all your links there, which would send you to our Facebook page. It would give you our email address, buffyrevisited@gmail.com. It also gives you the link to our YouTube page where you can watch the video version of this very podcast right now and then and in a minute.
Right. And you can see how visibly angry this episode makes me.
Yes, James actually he texted me after into the future. He texted me and told me that he actually sprained his wrist. That he was so angry in this episode.
Are you referring to when I punched the stairs above my head?
Yes. Yes.
No, my wrist is fine. My wrists are fine, but I did punch the stairs above my head.
Yes, but just in fairness, this is future James texted me to say that
Well,
he's hurt. He's hurt. May need surgery.
I may need surgery.
So yeah, links. Yeah, so that's what you get when you go to BuffyRevisited.com, and you might also get a virus. I don't know. So, hey, next week, bro. Next week. Okay, we're gonna full frontal into season 5, episode 11. Triangle.
Illuminati. Oh, triangle.
Illuminati. Yes.
Illuminati.
Dude,
this is how, like, not to dwell, but this is how bad this episode is. We're coming in at under an hour 30.
True. We did well, and also because we tend to do this on episodes that we both, what's the word I'm looking for? Utterly despise.
Yeah, that's true.
We tend to skip over a lot of stuff in our revisit because we simply don't care.
Right.
Well, we try to be entertaining nonetheless to the audience.
Sure.
No, I'm not saying we succeed at that, but we try.
No, right. But anyway, it's over. It's done. Riley's gone. Thank
Riley
God.
is gone. To murder his mother-in-law.
And his father. Yeah, his father and mother.
His mother-in-law. He had shit to do. All right, let's just put it that way. So he had to get out of Sunnydale.
Yep.
There was some murdering to be done. All right.
There was some cold-blooded murder to do, and I had to be the one doing it.
Yeah.
That's how Riley talks now. Since he talks like Sling Blade.
He told me, come on over here and I gave him 2 whacks with a sling blade. Darn near cut his head in 2.
Damn near cut his head in 2.
He told me to tell you to bring an ambulance and a hearse. Okay. So yeah, season 5, episode 11, Triangle, next week. Thanks for joining us this week, even though it was a terrible episode. We hope you still enjoyed our antics and stupidity. But otherwise, I've been one of your hosts. I'm Jeremy.
I'm your host, James.
Ta-ta.